So here's the dilemma. My husband, my toddler, my teenage stepson, and myself all live together and so it means that pretty regularly we have to get creative with how we use our space. Why don't we move into a bigger house, you may ask? Well, if you're new here, my name is Rebecca. Hello. This YouTube channel primarily documents my family's journey to get out of debt. So we are not currently in any kind of position to buy a bigger or more expensive house. And honestly, we like our small home. We have lived in small spaces the whole time that we've been together, pretty much. Before we moved into this house, we were actually living in a 32-foot long travel trailer, and we would park it in different parks around the Denver metro area, and that's how we lived until we bought this house. Our home is affordable and cozy, and it is in a town that we really like, so we're making do for the time being. So eventually, when we've paid off our debt, we would like to buy something slightly larger, and something that's a little bit closer to the center of our town. I want to try to, live somewhere a little bit more central so that I can walk and bike to most kind of daily errands of my life, that I don't need to, get in the car to go to the post office, that kind of a thing. And also I want to give my daughter the experience that I had growing up of being able to walk to school and, to little shops in the town that I grew up on the East Coast. I also think, living somewhere centralized will help give me more opportunities for community in my town. It'll give me more time outside the car, save money on gas. It can be better for your health, the exercise that you get from riding a bike or walking more. It supports your town or your city's small businesses. It's better for the environment. And as my daughter grows up, I, want to give her the opportunity to explore her neighborhood and her town independently. I've also been interested in the idea of free-range parenting lately, but until that becomes our reality, we're making, the best of our situation and our small space. Thankfully, small space living is also a very big interest of mine. So in the past couple of years, my stepson has gotten taller and taller. He got too tall for the bed that he was currently in. We had bought him a loft bed from IKEA several years ago, and he was just too tall for it now. And I mentioned several times on my channel that the house that we live in is only a 2-bedroom home. We purchased it before I got pregnant with my daughter. I didn't know if I was going to become pregnant. This house was affordable and was kind of the only thing that we could get at the time that we bought. But it does mean, now that we need a 3rd bedroom because we have 2 kids. So we made a temporary solution in kind of the common living area with some curtain tracks and curtains that we bought from IKEA to kind of section off my daughter a space of her own. We knew that, that little curtain sectioning off of the main living space was not going to last forever. So for these first 2 problems, our solution was that we budgeted and bought a new daybed for my stepson from IKEA. And then we're kind of turning his old loft bed into a new kind of room within a room for our daughter here in the main living space. I really liked this project because I really liked that we could reuse the piece of furniture, the loft bed, for another child. And this small space solution is something I'm really excited about. I'm a big fan of modern design, and I feel like this kind of fits the bill. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I was inspired by, different small space solutions that I'd seen in bigger cities like, New York, things where you can really only get a studio and you have to kind of turn it into more than that. So that was really kind of our idea for this project. My stepson's old bed is from the IKEA Smasted, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, collection. Originally it had, a wardrobe inside and then also a desk. We took the desk out and now just her little pack and play sits there. And eventually my husband will build a toddler bed into the bottom. She's just turned 2, so she's too small to actually utilize the loft portion of the loft bed. You know, in the next few years, she'll probably be big enough. So right now we're using the loft portion as like a light storage area, which also kind of helps in our small space. This kind of separates her little bedroom area from the rest of the common living area. And then we also had the problem of limited toy storage for my daughter's toys. Before, we were just kind of lining up all her toys against the living room wall, because the living room is technically, you know, her playroom. This is where she plays also. But it was really kind of cutting into the flow of our small living space. We do have the storage loft now, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to put stuff out there and take it out on a daily basis, the toys that she, you know, plays with pretty frequently. So we needed to find another solution. So while we were at IKEA, we bought a very large sideboard cabinet called the Havsta. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The Havsta sideboard, and it has like a little sliding door, and it's big enough to put all of her toys into, and she can kind of open and close it herself and get what she wants to play with out of there. So it has been a great solution. There's a really good flow, like from our front door through to our back door now. And then also while we were at IKEA, we purchased a lack bookshelf because with the sideboard going where our bookshelf used to be, we needed another space for book storage. So we ended up using kind of a empty piece of space in our living room to put the bookshelf, and I think it looks great. It was a way just to kind of display and store the books, but, you know, make room for them after they'd been displaced by the sideboard cabinet toy storage area. I plan on adding a little reading light next to the bookshelf above the sofa to make like a little reading nook. And I really couldn't be happier with how it turned out, honestly. Like, as corny as it sounds, I feel like I'm living in a cool, modern space now. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it, subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.